Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Find Your Model Health, the official podcast from Shemaine's Model Health for those looking to optimize their long-term health and weight goals and understand how their body really works. I am your host, I am Shemaine Linney. I'm fitness and nutrition expert, certified iridologist and biohacker, and I'm very happy to have you back with me for another piece of your day. I hope you're all keeping really well and enjoying summer so far. And I really hope that you find the information in this episode helpful because it's definitely a popular topic for the last few weeks, and that is seasonal allergies. For about a month now, or over a month, I've been getting a lot of requests on how can I stop my allergies, or is there anything you can recommend I can take, and so on and so on. And I do get these questions throughout the year because, of course, people will experience seasonal allergies in spring and fall and other allergies throughout the year, and even breakouts of urticaria or unusual rashes or stuff like that. So I do get this question, but now around this time of the year, it's definitely a hot topic. So before I go on, I must remind you that the information in these podcast episodes is for informational purposes only and should not be taken as medical advice. Please consult your health practitioner before making any lifestyle changes. Okay, so summer is here, and if you're like many people, that means you're looking for ways to prevent or reduce or even eliminate some of your seasonal allergy symptoms, which may be wheezing, it may be congestion, it may be runny nose, coughing, watery eyes. It's estimated that 1 in 4 people suffer from allergies of some kind. So whether that's seasonal, food, skin, or medication, 1 in 4 people are experiencing something. The American Academy of Allergy, Asthma, and Immunology states that as many as 30% of adults and 40% of children suffer from allergic rhinitis each year. So that would be your seasonal allergies. So for those of us who are living on daily doses or of over-the-counter allergy medication, like Reactin is a popular one, I have some great recommendations for you of alternatives that are quite effective. So seasonal allergies, like a runny nose or that congestion or the watery eyes, they're caused by your immune system responding to something in the environment, an allergen like pollen or dust. And when your body is exposed to this allergen, it is picked up by your mast cells. And your mast cells, these are cells that are basically part of your immune system, but they are on the white blood cells, and they are concentrated at the entrances to your body everywhere. So your ears, your nose, your throat, your skin, your genitalia, your rectum. And when they are activated, when the mast cells are activated because they sense an allergen coming into your body, they then release signaling chemicals like histamine, prostaglandins, leukotrienes, cytokines, which some of you'll recognize as inflammatory hormones, chemokines. So these chemical mediators that are released, they trigger inflammation or an inflammatory response in response to the invasion of this foreign toxin or poison or bug or attack or whatever it may be, resulting in a range of symptoms which you experience, like your runny nose, and in some people even a rash, itches, stuff like that. So these mast cells, it's quite important to understand these. Mast cells are located throughout your body, like everywhere in many different tissues, but especially where you have an entrance to the body. So that would be like through the derma, so your skin, the gastrointestinal lining, the respiratory tissues, so through your mouth, through your nose. And we do need these mast cells to protect us, but they can become a problem, especially when they become overreactive because maybe there's an abundance of allergens in that atmosphere, like there would be now with the grass and the pollen and the dust. So, with that in consideration and even understood, knowing that when these seasonal molecules or things are present and you experience that runny nose or the congestion or whatever, that is because of an immune response. These mast cells are responding. They're then releasing these chemicals, and one of these that causes most of our symptoms is histamine. So you may, if you spoke to me, I'll have said to you, this is a histamine response based on whatever symptoms you're experiencing. So because your immune system is hypersensitive to all these seasonal allergies, you get this response, this histamine response, which manifests in those uncomfortable symptoms. And I've even been sneezing a lot more, but I love to sneeze. I always think a good sneeze is like just so good. And my kids laugh at me because I sneeze really loud, but I actually enjoy my sneezes. So now there are, like I mentioned, your gut can play a part, but we're really looking at histamine now. So it's the histamine that's giving that response from the mast cells and giving you these symptoms. So when we think of that, I'm thinking then, okay, well, how can I control some of this histamine then, or kind of slow down some of this reaction, or even stop it to some extent? Like, we do need the mast cells. They're very important for protecting us. But when you constantly have these symptoms, even like facial and chest flushing, and I have gotten a lot of messages at other times of the year, generally due to stress, where people are experiencing like itchiness or urticaria, which is random hives, or rashes, or even like burning feelings. People will message me that their feet are burning at night and stuff like that. This generally will come down to some sort of mast cell reaction. So I'm thinking, okay, this is a histamine response. How am I going to slow down this histamine so that this person is not suffering and they're not so uncomfortable? And even like, it can affect your social life. It can be embarrassing, especially if you have to scratch and you're out in public and you're breaking out in rashes and you're flushing. So I want to try help people. That's what I do. Now, Reactin is an option and it can be quite effective. A lot of people, though, that message me or follow me, they want more natural approaches. And I don't have a problem with Reactin. If it works great. I don't want you going around uncomfortable and miserable. But again, a lot of people want more of that natural option. So generally, the first thing I will be thinking of is, okay, how can I shut off this mast cell response? How can I kind of blunt it a bit or silence it a bit? So the first thing I will look at for that is usually quercetin. Now, quercetin is quite safe. Some of you may have heard of quercetin through the whole last couple of years. It was used to fight a certain infection, but quercetin it's a bioflavonoid. It's found in most vegetables and fruits, just it's in smaller concentration than what you would get in supplement form. Quercetin is really, really effective at blocking the release of histamine from mast cells. It works very, very fast. I use it. Any of my clients that use it will totally back me up and say, yeah, it works fast. It's amazing. Quercetin, unfortunately, cannot be got in liquid form. I'm hoping that eventually that comes out. So right now, when clients are asking about it for their children, And kids, of course, don't like to take pills or capsules. So the best option I have found is to either open up the capsules into a juice or a smoothie for the child, or even grind up the tablets in mortar and pestle. And this still seems to be just as effective. So I have a lot of clients doing that. And again, quercetin is quite safe, and it also displays anti-inflammatory and antiviral properties as well. Then the next one I'm usually thinking of is, well, I'm thinking of also the inflammation. So I'm looking at serrapeptase. Serrapeptase is a systemic enzyme, which basically means that it cleans up. It eats scar tissue in your body. It eats up damaged proteins. It just cleans up all the inflammation in your body. So serrapeptase, we like to take it on an empty stomach. I like to take it 40 minutes away from food. I find it works best taken either first thing in the morning as soon as you wake up, or last thing at night, like right before you put your head on the pillow. But it does need to be taken away from other foods and herbs and supplements and medications, because it is an eater. It will eat these other molecules instead of eating and cleaning up you. So you have to be careful there. Another enzyme I like, so serrapeptase is a systemic enzyme, and then bromelain being a proteolytic enzyme, pretty much the same thing. Bromelain, some of you will recognize from pineapple, is usually where bromelain is derived from. So it's a phytochemical enzyme, and it will basically do the same thing as serrapeptase. It's been used in traditional medicine for centuries, and science has started to look at it a lot more and even dive into the idea that this is a miracle compound of such. Well, according to studies, bromelain has shown to be effective in the treatment of numerous histamine-associated symptoms, while simultaneously improving absorption of certain compounds in the gut, and that's where that whole enzymatic aspect can help too. Slightly different to serrapeptase, but still seems to have a lot of efficacy there, and it's pretty easy to get your hands on bromelain. The next one would be SAM-E. So SAM, so capital S, capital A, capital M, and then lowercase e. So SAM-E has been shown to be quite effective against the histamine responses in the body by supporting the detoxification pathways as well and calming down the body. SAMe, some people may have heard of SAMe as being helpful for hair loss in that anti-inflammatory aspect of things, but SAMe, many people may not have heard of it, but it seems to be that there is some efficacy there in using SAMe to address these seasonal allergies. So SAMe, you could get it in most natural or health food stores, even Amazon, although I know people don't like to use Amazon too much. Sometimes, unfortunately, we can't get what we want locally, so we have to use Amazon. But I get it. I get why people don't want to. But SAMe may be a helpful tool for you there as well. And then the last one that has shown amazing efficacy for histamine response, and this can even be helpful with PMS symptoms and those couple of days before and around your menses. Vitamin B6 or pyroxidine has been shown to be quite effective in turning off the histamine response. But it must be noted that we don't necessarily want to take B6 long term. It's fine to take some in the short term or in cycles, but long term may not be the best idea. And I say may not. There are some studies that show us that B6 may cause some nerve damage in some people, but that doesn't seem to be the case when we're using it short term in and around that 30 milligram dose. So all of these are your natural options. There are a few others, like stinging nettle tea has been shown to be helpful for some people, and you can get that pretty much anywhere. Community foods. And acetylcysteine can be helpful through supporting the detoxification pathways in the liver, because I didn't mention this, but a lot of the time someone's symptoms will be worse if their body is already in a state of toxic overload, like it's already stressed because there's so much toxins in the body. It's not detoxifying efficiently or even effectively. Like the body is struggling, it's stressed, it's already overloaded, and now it gets exposed to all these external allergens or toxins, and now the load is even bigger, so now their symptoms are even worse. So that is always something that I look at, even when it comes to pain, is like, are you detoxifying properly? Are you in a state of toxic overload? That can be a big one, even when it comes to like aches and pains and issues sleeping at night because you're in pain. I'll always consider detoxification and toxic overload there. So you have those options. I'm happy to give out doses and recommendations individually. If you want to or need to message me, you can reach out to me at shemainsmodelhealth.com or Facebook or Instagram. I'm on Rumble. Wherever you're listening to this, you should be able to reach out to me. But I hope you found this information helpful. I'm sure you know somebody that could benefit from this information. Like, these are really effective. My first go-to is always quercetin. It usually works like gangbusters. And then I'm looking at serrapeptase to start to clean up the body and reduce the inflammation. And then I'll bring in the others if I feel they need to be brought in. But if you do know someone that could benefit from this information, please share. Sharing is caring. We really have to take care of ourselves. We have to take responsibility for our own health, especially after the last few years. So with that said, I'm going to let you go. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you'll join me for the next episode, where I will be looking at histamine and then detoxification. So enjoy the weather, get out, get some fresh air, take care of yourself, and I'll chat to you guys real soon. Bye-bye.